We lock the power out, we isolate it, so we got a compressor that just looks like this. What was our first step? Check the resistance. You want to check the resistance?
The resistance should be equal on each leg.
Great question, Billy. So the question was, the statement was, the resistance should be equal on each leg for 3-phase compressors. So what does it look like? 1.6?
No, 0.6.
Oh, sorry, 0.6? 0.6? 0.6, so they're all the same. So right now, we're like, okay, they're all the same. The next step would be to check it to ground. So do I have any of the insulation fail? So go from each line to ground. And you always want to find a clean point. If you can't go through paint, so maybe up here. Usually you'd go on your copper pipe.
Do you ever scratch the case?
If you have to. But if you go off the copper pipe, it would work real well. What's it say? Open. So for right now, it looks like pretty good. So let's see if we can pop these off. We're gonna have to get something to take that off. So this is the thermal insulator plate. I think I need a 9/16. Here, I'll let you. Do you want to rip it apart? Just take all these ones off.
Now on this, does it matter pattern?
Oh no,
I know when it comes to
one bigger.
cylinder head, pattern matters, but
Oh,
does,
that's a 3/8. Yeah, go.
does pattern matter?
100 when you're putting it on. When you're taking it off, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, that's sweet. And you're not. The only time you're going to do this is when it's an OL, usually, or you got a leak there, and you're going to replace this whole plate. Yeah, pop these 3 off. So if you ever come up to a compressor and you see them all rusted like this in the compressor, you got to change those lugs. That's bad, because that can lead to electrical arcs and things like that. What's your name? Ben, so thank you so much, Ben. So Ben, check this out, and this was good. Like it looks good. We still got to match it up to Copeland's electrical software or their electrical performance chart, but it looked good. If it looked bad, and we had a dead short, he was going to want to take this off, right? And he's going to want to pull this whole thing off here and take a look at this insulator plate, because now we don't know if it's this insulator plate. So this one looks pretty good. So you can see. But I've seen it lots of times where it was all carbon tracking through here. And so when you went on it and you go like this, oh, it's a dead short, but really it's just this failed. So you can replace that. There's still a problem. It's not just replacing this, not fixing the problem. Just remember that. You can replace as many parts as you want if you don't fix the root cause of if it's a moisture issue or if it's this lug that wasn't tightened properly enough. That would lead to the issue, or a vibration. It could be the vibration. You got to figure out the problem. Just changing the part is not going to solve the problem. Okay, so we take it off. This looks good, and then what's underneath here?
Yeah, that's good.
So under here, here's this one's called I can't remember. This insulator plate separates the top part. This insulator plate separates down below here. So once again, we got to take this off. Because now, if you do it from there, and it was bad, and then it's still bad when we do it here, then we take this part off here, okay? And then there's even a model number on there. So once again, look at all the rust behind this one. This one's been outside for a while, but you could see maybe carbon track in here, or it could be cracked. So it's very important to check that out. And we talked about earlier that, oh yeah, great.
Smart.
Getting fancy. Boss man.
Yeah. So the big thing is that, remember that time I talked about that leak that I had? Well, there's gaskets in here. So it could be these, like this is a replaceable part. It's not done a lot, but if you're stuck, I know lots of people that I work, like reach out to me from South America and different parts of the world where it's not easy to get compressors, they will do these replacements. So when you take it off, you want to take a look. These gaskets have to be replaced. If you take this off, these gaskets have to be replaced, okay? And then if you guys all want to take a look in there, there's that component right there.
Just like they would warranty a compressor, do they warranty gaskets? Do they warranty parts like that if you planned on breaking into it and there's a warranted item?
So for the way, you got to find out the manufacturer. You got a lot of different warranties. Gaskets, it's usually the compressor, not gaskets and things like that.
Yeah,
So
non-wearable items.
yeah. But what's underneath here, also, you guys can see another plate. So maybe it's this plate that failed. Maybe it's not the top plate. So these are the steps. Does this take a while? Yes. Do you usually have, if you haven't had to put a new compressor in, you need to inspect this out of the field. Okay, so then at least you know. Because if you just go and went and replaced this, okay, it's a dead short and you replaced it, you don't know what caused that failure. And a lot of times when you have every time you have a failed compressor, you got to put a new one in before you can start the system up and find that failure, right? That makes sense? Okay, but this is another component that could fail from temperature or from current. Okay? So the next step we talked about, taking all the bolts off. We have the compressor still isolated. We loosen all except two. You take a hammer and you bang the sides like that. This one they loosened up for me, so thanks to the guys here. Kalos. So, Billy, do you want to just flip it up over?
Yeah.
Okay. So first step, thank you. So the first step is taking a look at it and seeing how the gasket looks. It's all rusted inside here. This is because it's been sitting inside for quite a while. But if you see any cracks, any breaks, a lot of times if you have a head gasket leak, you'll see carbon tracking through here. Right? So you want to take a look at it and inspect it, look inside, see what's going on. Okay, then what you do, you want to inspect the top of it. Like this one has a lot of rust on it, but you want to see, is there any cracks here? Is there any damage in here? I've seen these where these came right off. Compressor took a slug, stretches these bolts, and then this comes off, and as the compression happens, you get bolts and screws inside there. One of the big things that you really want to understand is that these components here are all torqued to a certain spec. So when at the manufacturer, what they do, even these nuts that we take off, they use torque wrenches to make sure and check it. Did the technician put it on properly? Because if I put this on too tight, I could break it inside here, potentially. And I've seen lots of these get loosened off before or come off. Even that one. Even these ones are a little loose, but it's probably just from sitting for so long. And so you can check the torques. So I've seen when I worked at the manufacturer where they said, oh, it had to be the compressor manufacturer. They didn't tighten them in, but the compressor manufacturer checks each one of them. This one's tighter than this one, that one's looser than that one. That doesn't come from the manufacturer like that, okay? Just remember that. All manufacturers, they got good quality control, all the big brands. So we're gonna need to take a hammer and pop this one off. So you wanna just take a look at it. Got a quick hammer or something?
There's a TV.
Oh, right. Right here?
Here we go.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
So all you want to do is just tap it right here. And they already did it. It was just. So what you want to do is take a look on the inside here. Okay? And you want to see, is there a lot of heat? Is there these broken? And so the way the gas comes in, it comes in through comes through here, and then pushes up through here. So your suction comes out. So when we're looking at it, this is your suction. This pulls down as the downstroke. So that'll open up a little bit. Let's see if I can get it here. Now, well, this pulls down. As it goes up, this closes, and then the discharge goes right out through there. So if these are broke or cracked, it could be a few different things. It could be compression ratio. You need a pressure ratio. If you start to get a really low compression ratio, these will start to flap like that, and then over time that'll lead to a cracked one. If you get a lot of overheat, it could lead to a cracked one. If you take a slug, you take a bunch of liquid refrigerant from a flooded start, it could crack these and crack this. So you want to look at that, because it could be one of three things. But there's other telltale signs of that. Is the crankcase heater working? Right? That could lead to what? If I don't have a crankcase heater working on any compressor and it's outside, what could that lead to?
Liquid migration.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Refrigerant migration. So now the compressor fills up with liquid refrigerant that starts up, and then all of a sudden these pistons try to compress it. So you take a look at that. Okay, then you want to take a look inside here and check, see what the gasket looks like. You want to look inside the bore holes. You want to look inside the pistons. Okay, let me just move around here. Any questions? Okay, let me just get on this side and get on the